no way. It's way too much damage. Stop him with the block! He found Churchill!
and he
Oh,
found
wow.
Wow.
Oh, what? He gets out!
Somewhere there's a covert muffin just applauding this seed.
Holy crap.
Oh man, this is gonna come down to execution in the final escape, isn't it?
Sure is.
Every seed
Our
does.
favorite phrase.
Hello and welcome, Speed Gaming fans. Welcome back to the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament 2021. Today's featured matchup, we have a lower bracket round 3 match between two very highly talented runners in Sunny and Apple. Our runners are seed number 23 and seed number 25, so this will be a really close one. So looking forward to seeing how this will pan out. My name is Romulus, and I am joined today by Turtle Guy. Turtle, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, Rom. We had a great match earlier today, thanks in part to you, and we hopefully will have an even greater match with these two really close runners, both in terms of seed and from what we've seen in terms of their routing and execution.
Yeah, absolutely. Both our runners have been doing a great job in helping with the tournament. They've been doing a lot of commentary, a lot of restreaming, a lot of helping out. So we just want to, take a minute and thank our runners for doing that, for helping to make this tournament work. So much appreciated there. We were able to chat with our runners real quick before the race today. I was able to chat with Sunny Muffin and get a feel for what he's thinking for the race today. And Sunny, he's really hoping actually for a long seed. He's hoping Sunstone or Watervein is buried somewhere deep. He says he thinks in a jet seed or something shorter, he thinks that Apple will have the advantage over him in that kind of scenario. So he's hoping for something a little bit longer. And he's feeling a little bit nervous, but we know that he's going to do great. So all the best wishes for him. What about Apple?
Yeah, interestingly enough, Apple also hopes for a slower seed because she thinks that Sunny Muffin would have the advantage in a fast seed. In particular, Apple thinks that Sunny has some phenomenal G-jumps, so she's hoping actually to not get those, as on controller, those can be a bit meh to have when you know your opponent can do some great things with them. So she'd hope for some slow, some nice and relaxed, just to help her really focus on her execution. And that is her kind of hope for this seed, because she is also feeling pretty nervous coming into this close matchup.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a good one. Both our runners showing the respect for the other runner. You absolutely love to see it. And random fun fact provided by one of our runners, the unicorn is the national animal of Scotland. Did you know that? I didn't know that, but hey, there you go. Anyway, we have word that the race is getting started. Our runners will be sent off to start their race here in just a moment. And, Turtle, I have to ask, what are you hoping for the start for this seed? What are you thinking we're going to see?
I really want a start that teleports them to Swamp. Both runners wish for a sort of slower seed, and that would certainly be a nice and relaxed opening, heading in that area with very few other skills. What about you, Rom? You thinking of anything fun?
A teleporter start would be pretty cool. Beyond that, I think, as much as I don't like doing them, I think it'd be neat to see a climb start. Climb when you're down in Blackroot, trying to do the climb ramp. Not a lot of fun, but I know both our runners could pull it off. But anyway, our first pickup is just an ability cell, so we're still gonna have to wait and see what ideas the seed has in store for them.
Yeah, I do think a climb seed is absolutely possible, if not likely. Though we have been seeing a lot of our runners choose the wall-starved mode in recent seeds, these two are playing on a standard seed. That means wall jump and climb have just an equal chance as everything else to be anywhere in logic. and
Eh,
that means it could be their only way into Blackroot.
Indeed. And we actually saw a keystone there just below the sign pickup. So cluing us in that we'll most likely see a second keystone, which will let us progress into Glades, well, at which we might eventually progress over to the wall jump tree, the first of 9 trees that we're going to have to visit throughout the game. Sorry, 10 trees we're going to have to visit throughout the game since we are playing on the Force Trees mode. And we're going to see our runners taking the same path over here. There's a couple pickups along the way over to this double keystone door. One of them will either have to be a keystone or some sort of wall interaction, and we actually do get climb. So we might see our runners decide to take that right down into Blackroot, but they're going to check that other remaining pickup first before making their way down there. And we get a second keystone. Now we could actually see a divergence here. We could either put in these keystones, head over through Glades, or take this climb and head over to Blackroot. We get a quick dip in the water to see that we got a lot of experience on this fake flippers check, as we like to call it. Both runners choosing to not keep it, and both runners choosing to enter Glades.
Yeah, I think I absolutely like this play. We've mentioned already how tough it is to use climb only to get through Blackroot burrows. And so getting that second keystone will let our runners do this much easier area towards the wall jump tree. And hopefully they can find something else that'll just make the Blackroot area a lot easier for when they eventually do go through it, because they have to at some point. Uh, they're just hoping to do it with a little more than climb only in their pockets.
Yeah, heading through Blackroot with just climb can definitely be tricky for a lot of runners, myself included. So definitely understandable play to make the routing decision to head over towards wall jump first before heading down and getting the dash tree. We're able to check just about everything on our way over to the wall jump tree, which is pretty nice. Climb kind of functions like a similar wall jump, but instead of course, jumping off the wall, you stay clung to it. And we actually will find a second keystone there on Sunny's side of the screen, and that will let us take yet another um, option instead of going down to Blackroot. We could, in fact, decide to go up to Spirit Caverns, which does require 2 keystones to place into the door to then progress. And of course, we see a map stone as well on Sunny's side. He's actually going to take that over and place it in the map pedestal since he's pretty close to it and doesn't want to have to double back over here. Nice play.
Yeah, with all these different keystones and mapstones coming into play, our runners are unlocking more and more different options in this Glades area. And it'll be very interesting to see what all they decide to do. Do they put in a mapstone now, like Sunny's done? Do they leave it for later, just in case they can use a quicker mapstone somewhere like Blackroot Burrows or Forlorn? It looks like Apple is also going to turn in that mapstone right now. So they will be on about pickup parity with each other, for the time
Yeah.
being at least.
Yeah, and that's definitely a respectable play. This mapstone pedestal is pretty out of the way in general, but since we're down here heading to collect our first tree, which Sunny just did on your left side of the screen, it makes a lot of sense to just come down here and plop it in real quick before heading over and getting the rest of our pickups. And we actually collect up to 4 keystones there on the left side of your screen from Sunny. And it looks like he's actually deciding to take the plunge. He's going to be our first runner to descend into Blackroot.
Yeah, with this many keystones showing up early, the runners definitely have to keep the progression towards Charge Flame Tree in the back of their minds. But that would require 6 keystones. So either they find 2 more in Blackroot or 2 more in the Spirit Caverns area itself.
Yes, and Spirit Caverns is a pretty dense area. Blackroot, a little bit less dense, but there's still plenty of opportunities to collect a couple more keystones, which will most likely be our next progression. But we're still a little bit away from that. Right now, our runners are going to both be heading into Blackroot. Apple deciding to follow in the footsteps of Sunny and coming down here to do this little auto-scroller section. More or less an auto-scroller, not quite yet, but we're going to actually see Sunny make some attempts at this climb ramp here on the right side of your screen. This is a pretty difficult ramp, but he gets the first half of it done real quick. Nice job on the second part. Excellent work there from Sunny. That's a pretty finicky little way that you have to ascend those couple of walls. and Sunny makes it look real easy. Nice job on his end. Looks like Apple's going to be just a couple seconds behind, and she's going to make her attempt here at the climb ramp in just a moment.
Yeah, this climb ramp, it is in logic to get this pickup, because if you wanted to, you could just do the vanilla way, which is pretty slow and boring and just requires sitting on some platforms. But if our runners, yes, and Apple and Sunny both get it pretty quickly, if they're able to do that climb ramp, they can grab that pickup much faster than watching the auto-scroller. So great skill from both of them to be able to do that really, really quickly. It is just a keystone, but that keystone might be very important for both our runners to now have.
Yeah, you definitely said it there. Definitely going to need those keystones for later. We have a number of doors that we're going to have to access eventually using keystones. And so having it here, nice little comfort for knowing we don't need to, worry about keystones, or at least a little bit less. And now Sunny is going to be climbing up these platforms nice and slowly, both our runners to just, hanging out, waiting for these platforms to make their way up to where they want to go. There isn't a lot you can really do in this little section to speed this up, but well, we have to do it at some point. Our runner is both deciding to do it now, and we're going to be collecting our second tree here, the dash tree, and hopefully maybe get some extra progression.
Yeah, as awful as we make climb only Blackroot out to be, both these runners have definitely gotten some practice with it by the looks of their incredibly, incredibly flawless runs through this area. Barely taking any damage, no deaths, both of them getting climb ramps right off the bat, and that will allow them pretty quickly to check through this area. SunnyMuffin getting 57 experience from behind those crushers, Apple right on his heels, checking out the cutscene, and then they get the dash tree.
Yeah, excellent job from both our runners to make their way through this area. You always want to see it, be real close in terms of execution, and our runners are absolutely living up to that right now. We're collecting even more keystones through this area. We're up to about 7 over on Sunny's side of the screen. Apple going to be collecting those same couple pickups. She'll be, right on his heels more or less. And Sunny actually making the decision not continue in Blackroot. There is like one more pickup that's not quite in logic with climb. However, they can go down there if they so desire. Instead, Sunny is deciding to take those 7 keystones and put them to good use, entering into the Spirit Caverns area. We're going to see if Apple decides to do the same thing. No, she's actually going to reload on this keystone, deciding she does not need a 7th. She's pretty comfortable with just 6. And she's actually going to come down here, glitch this lever open as Sunny is entering Spirit Caverns, and she's going to be able to check some pickups we haven't seen yet as we get even more keystones in Spirit Caverns.
Oh my god, in even another keystone, they might still have problems later considering how many doors there are absolutely everywhere, but for the early game, they will not have any trouble whatsoever just opening doors that require keystones.
Yeah.
But we are going to now see our first route divergence. As SunnyMuffin follows logic into this Spirit Caverns area, while AppIetreee is trying to find a micro ledge, which will let her pretty easily get through this area with just climb, which is out of logic, but will get her a teleporter and several other pickups that she can check.
Yeah, and speaking of, oh wait, hold on, that's a double jump there in Spirit Caverns. That's a nice comfort find to go along with those other keystones that we found. That'll be very nice in tandem with climb for ascending, getting some pickups that are a little bit higher up. As we see an ability cell over on Apple's side as well. And we actually saw Sunny also utilize the micro ledge over in Spirit Caverns. It didn't pay off for, with a wonderful pickup like, double jump like we found immediately after. But, still very nice tech shown on his side, showing that he's not about to leave that pickup there just because it's not in logic to get it yet. While on our right side, Apple is going to be using our lovely Frankie friend Marvin to break open this boulder so she can check that pickup down there a little bit later. She's finding a couple more ability cells here in this boulder escape area, as we call it. And while that's happening, looks like Sunny has finished watching the Grove teleporter cutscene. So now he's able to come back to that spot a little bit later nice heads-up play to keep that teleporter around for later, since you don't always need to keep it. Instead, you can skip it, which saves time, but you are unable to use that pickup, that teleporter later.
Yeah. Sunny also making sure to be very thorough in lowering that log. That'll let him get a lot easier access to a pretty infamous pickup above the Sea Flame tree. But below the Sea Flame tree, he also does find wall jump. Well, not necessary since they do have climb. That is very, very convenient for getting up some tricky walls like we saw Apple doing in Lower Blackroot. With wall jump on SunnymuffinSR side, that will be a much, much easier play. As, oh my god, there is something above Sea Flame tree, and it is just Sea Flame.
Wow, interesting. That pickup, deciding to move just, a little bit above where it normally is. That is blue breakage on the side of Sunny. He's going to be able to take that and do a number of things with it. He's going to be collecting his third tree, and we see the water vein is in Forlorn. Oh man, get your coats, get your boots. It's going to be a chilly seed. Oh, you love to see that.
Absolutely. Well, we love to see it. Our runners might be very much regretting everything right now as CGen is not playing nice because
Yeah,
you do not
absolutely.
have to go to Forlorn in most seeds. But this one has decided that our runners are going to visit Forlorn. They're going to dig for Water Vein until they find it. And that will be very, very fun for us to see.
Absolutely. But that does mean we are going to need a couple more pickups than we normally would in order to get access into Forlorn. We're either going to need the Gumon Seal, which is another dungeon key similar to the Water Vein or the Sunstone, or we're going to need the Forlorn Teleporter. And if either of those pickups are a little bit buried, that could spell trouble for both of our runners. But that's probably on the back burner for them at the moment. Instead, our runners, are focusing more on where should they go next with this newly acquired Charge Flame on Sunny's side, as well as Double Jump and Wall Jump. It's just kind of a nice early game move set. You normally get these first few abilities right at the start of the game anyway, so we're going to probably be more or less following the intended game path. Oh, Sunny taking a little bit of a death, bit unfortunate. Hopefully not going to send him back too hard. Apple's going to be right behind him. She's going to be finding the same pickups here, just a little bit behind Sunny.
Yeah, and though this may be a pretty comfortable skill set for the early game, it's not particularly fast, which actually is what both of our runners wanted. So they're going to be able to check quite a few extra pickups, hopefully get some health and energy, of which they have currently found no extra of either. So that would be very nice for them as they make their way through this pretty long area that doesn't have a tree in it until they get all the way down to the bottom of Moon Grotto, which will be their next tree in the double jump tree.
Yes, we're going to have to make our way very slowly, and you can see Apple angrily or perhaps excitedly circling the Water Vein in Forlorn hint. So she's going to be, aware just as much as Sunny is of what they're going to have to do. Sunny also finding Glide over here in the Spider Sack area. Another comfort skill at this point in the game. It will be useful as well once they're in Sorrow later on. But yeah, right now, you said it. Our runners are, moving along kind of slowly with these skills, which is what they both wanted. However, Sunny did level up the skill in the ability tree that will let him have free charge flames, which is very nice when that is, your main form of blue breakage, as well as a good way to damage enemies. So definitely a good call on his end, since he only has one energy. He will not need to be spending a lot of energy to break blue things. And on Apple's side, she did decide to double back and check one pickup that is double jump locked. Unfortunately, it was just an ability cell, but it's still better to, get that check out of the way so she knows at least that it's not something critically important that she will have missed.
Yeah, with a skill set this slow, I can definitely see why our runners would want to be very, very thorough, as we are seeing AppIetreee be incredibly thorough, and SunnyMuffin, even though he's moving forward, is still making sure to check everything he can, because one pickup could be charge jump, or dash, or bash, and all of a sudden your movement speed just exponentially increases to get you to so many more places across the map in such quicker time. So our runners are both desperately looking for whatever that one pickup may be that will get them a power skill and an advantage over their competitor.
Yes, right now we're more or less, bunny hopping throughout Nibel. Our most beneficial skill for movement right now probably being that double jump. However, Apple going to be finding that charge flame as well. She's probably going to be falling behind Sunny in just a moment here. Sunny taking an unfortunate death there over in the health cell area of Horu Fields. He's instead going to be coming down here into Moon Grotto, and he actually did not make that check, so he is not going to be aware of what that was. A bit unfortunate on his side.
Meanwhile, on AppIetree's side, she is following, again being super, super thorough, and she will also grab her glide. Another skill, but just a comfort skill for now. Not too important in terms of progression until they get their left side access or wind restored.
That is true. Wind Restored could absolutely put our Glide Find to a little bit more use, as that would let them check a couple pickups that are a little bit out of their reach at the moment, but we're not finding it quite yet. Instead, we're going to be descending into Grotto here on Sunny's side, with Apple trailing not too far behind. And Sunny's going to actually take this opportunity to head into Death Gauntlet. Pretty scary area with lots of crushers and brambles that deal a lot of damage. Only being on 3 health, this can be a little scary, but Sunny is making sure it's nice and clear so that he doesn't have to worry about taking another unnecessary death. Nicely done there to lure the Frankie over to stomp that breakable floor there. He's going to be able to check that pickup later, probably once he gets these other checks out of the way first. Yeah, he's going to place a quick safety save before diving down to check that. Just experience, but it does give him a level up, so he's actually able to keep that. Nicely done.
Yeah, this area of Death Gauntlet definitely has earned its name, especially from the casual speedrun. Casual speedrun is not really a term. Sorry. But with his free charge flame, Sunny definitely knows how to make his way through very easily, grab all the pickups, even that underwater one, and he will be making his way down into Gumo's hideout for the double jump tree and hopefully more progression.
Indeed. Notably though, Sunny did skip one pickup that's just below the Grotto teleporter. We'll see if Apple, who is also being very, very thorough, decides to check that one as well. Maybe it just slipped Sunny's mind. But instead he's just going to make his way over through to where the water vein normally is, and then continue his way down to a very dense area of the game, the Moon Grotto, of course.
Oh my. On Apple's side of the screen,
Whoa!
we are seeing Bash from the health cell that Sunny just barely died in front of and decided to skip. Oh man, this could be absolutely gargantuan, as Apple has Bash and Sunny does not. That is probably the most powerful skill in the game right now. And what a turn of events.
That is so unfortunate for Sunny. He was right there next to it. Oh, he does find Grenade though. What? Oh god. Okay. So we have Bash Grenade in Logic right now. Both of those skills are skills that our runners currently possess. That puts a lot of things into Logic as well. That's a pretty big find on both of their sides. Very unfortunate from Sunny not getting that Bash find. He does find the Sunstone though instead, so that's one fewer thing he's going to have to dig for later. So that's kind of nice at least. Meanwhile, on Apple's side, she is getting the Swamp Teleporter, which she's going to need to use later, probably to enter the Ginzo tree, as well as when she heads over to the final escape much later. Pretty useful teleporter. And Sunny is going to decide, yeah, he's going to just grab this mapstone down here in Lower Blackroot, and he's not going to be saying hi to our friend, the mini-boss, just yet. Maybe he'll come down to it later, but looks like he's instead going to skip that. That one's a pretty long pickup, and he's just going to hope that it's nothing important.
And now with that grenade, there is more that Sunny Muffin can check in Logic. And still, he might be able to find something like Charge Jump or Dash, which will help him out a whole lot. But unless he goes back to Horu Fields, which is a little bit unlikely at this point, that Bash is going to remain locked for him. Meanwhile, Apple is going to be coming down probably still being thorough, and that'll mean she probably finds the Sunstone and Grenade as well, but then keeps that bash advantage.
Yeah, we'll have to see what she decides to do, what things she's going to be checking. She's pretty much following Sunny's steps, more or less to the T. Of course, however, making that health cell check, which of course we know was extremely crucial. Very unfortunate for Sunny, but moving on past that, he is going to be making his way over down to the double jump tree, and in just a moment we'll be able to see what indeed is that pickup. Just getting a nice mega health there. And he's going to be collecting his 4th tree. And, oh, just another ability cell. Runners have a healthy amount of cells here. Apple up to 10, while Sunny has 7. You know, they might decide to hang on to those before committing to the purple tree or the green/blue tree. We'll have to wait and see what they decide to do. Meanwhile, Apple is checking this plant down here, but she's out of energy. She cannot check it. Oh no, Apple. Oh well, instead she's gonna come up here and grab an energy cell. Okay. Oh no, she takes a death. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Apple, no.
We've seen Sunny being able to use Charge Flame basically for free this entire time, and that is because of one of the skills he leveled up in the skill tree. And Apple, as of yet, just does not have that, so her Charge Flame has been costing energy, which has led her to maybe not being able to save as much, or having to attack enemies manually with Sign, as we're seeing right here. She could, if she wants and remembers, level that up. Because in an energy starved seed like this, where she currently has a single energy, nothing more, that is a very useful skill to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, keeping in mind how much energy you have, as Sunny actually finds a 3rd energy cell over on your left side of the screen. It's definitely crucial. And it looks like Sunny is going to be making some of these swamp checks before perhaps maybe doing the outer swamp loop. It looks to be the area that he is doing. Apple does finally go back and grab that energy, or that blue plant locked pickup. Just some experience, but she is going to grab her 2nd energy. Very nice. That'll help alleviate a bit of those energy issues that she was having. And actually, is she gonna? No, okay. Yeah, she decides to not open up that 2 energy door, since she does need to place a save to glitch this bridge so that she can cross it while it opens, instead of opening up the vault there. She'll probably go back and check that later, especially since she just found a 3rd energy. So, nicely done. While that's happening, Sunny checking these outer swamp pickups. Very nice. Hopefully he'll be finding something that can help bring back the slight deficit that he's at, since he does not have that bash pickup.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do know that between our runners, and actually Sunny just finds 4 energy all on its own, but 4 energy now is, I believe, in logic, and so if our runners want to look for some extra checks, there are several different vaults, like Progression Vault, or potentially Glazer, that they could check to find a couple more pickups using that 4 energy.
Yeah, there's definitely quite a number of them, including one right near where Apple is currently at after she just found the Sunstone. One at the bottom of Grotto, but hard to say if that's going to be the route they decide to take. While Apple is checking these plants, also finding the Warmth Return that we saw on Sunny's side, a very useless pickup that is red and makes you think it's the Sunstone for a brief moment before the realization that it's just a useless find sets in. And Apple does find the grenade find. Very, very nice. She's happily spamming her grenade. That will open up a lot for her, since now she has access to bash grenade movement, which will let her do a number, will allow her to check a number of different things. However, Apple's on controller, isn't she? Controller,
Yep.
bash grenade. Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle. So hopefully, she makes do with what she has.
When I talked to her before the run, she did say that she's okay with bash made seeds. Despite being on controller, she thinks she's proficient and will be able to hold up to SunnyMuffin, even though he is on KBM. But
Speaking of Sunny,
yup, he is going back towards this health cell.
yes!
Saves this time, manages not to die to that jerk slime. Will lure the Baneling, and that
Very nice.
will get him his bash and skill parity now with AppIetreee.
You can see him taking a second to process what he just found there, knowing that he was there not that long ago. Now finding it, I'm sure that's got to be frustrating. And while he's now checking this grenade lock pickup here by these Frankies, oh, actually, he's going to take a quick death. Yeah, he just wants to, find this bash again. He likes seeing those 4 green letters pop up on the screen. He wants a little bit more of that. While that was happening, Apple did take the time to visit our friend the mini boss. That slow pickup. Unfortunately, just a keystone, so she's going to make her way over to the double jump tree, checking the rest of these things along the way, it looks like.
And now that both of our runners have bash nade and are about to be on tree parity, it'll be very interesting to see what they do next, as bash nade puts a lot into logic. So there are several different places that our runners could be checking for progression, and we'll just have to see who manages to check that lucky spot first.
Yes, they have a number of things open to them. They could dip into the valley entry, and if they decide to bash the frog up onto the peg, they could enter all the way up to the feather pickup. That might be a little bit too out of logic for what they're at right now. That might be a consideration, however. In addition to that, they could do what Sunny is doing here, checking some of these pickups near the swamp entry area. This is the lower swamp entry. Since he does have bash... Oh, whoa, okay, that's charge jump. All right, Sunny is our victor in terms of the next logical progression. He has grenade jumps, ladies and gentlemen. That is 3 out of 3. He is definitely in the lead here with that find. Very nicely done by him. He's going to be able to do pretty much anything now with that find.
A second power skill, as well as having full-on bash nade and grenade jumps, means that there is not a lot that could still lock Sunny. Potentially still the water vein, as we know that that's in Forlorn, and the Goomunsil is a complete mystery. But having those skills now will let Sunny do quite a bit, as we might even see a grenade jump right here. He will input a frame, perfect, grenade and jump inputs, one apart from each other, like that, zoom
Nice.
across, grab 8 experience, not a lot, but he got to show off a cool trick, so...
Yeah, very nicely done there. Nice showcase of his technical prowess with those grenade jumps. He's going to be hoping to utilize those a lot throughout the rest of the seed, I would imagine. A very, very powerful movement technique. He's going to make his way up here to the swamp tree with his newly acquired charge jump and showing off some more grenade jumps just for the heck of it. And checking a couple other things as well over here, he will need 2 more dungeon clues, or dungeon key clues. And looks like here he is not going to be getting the next one since we are only on tree 5. Once we hit the 6th tree, we will be able to hopefully get the hint for the Forlorn key, which is the Goomunsil. And he's going to be making a couple more checks and then make his way out. Meanwhile, Apple, kind of in the same area that we did see charge jump, but she's a bit above it. She's actually taking the upper entry into Swamp. She's going to be bashing our friend Ringo to allow her access via his projectile that he vomits out. And so yeah, she's actually not going to be finding that charge jump find just yet unless she doubles back for that lower pickup later.
Yeah, there are 2 different ways into Swamp, and SunnyMuffin took the lower one, got hugely rewarded with charge jump. Apple could still potentially find dash, like right here on this Triforce ability cell, but no, it's just 43 experience. She's now missing out on that charge jump, and though she has a way into Swamp, that charge jump is just so humongous right now in terms of Sunny's skill set.
Yeah, that charge jump is about as big as the sun in terms of comparison size. Unfortunate for Apple, she has not found it yet. She's going to be placing her 4th mapstone as well, though. Just some experience, no big deal. And she's going to follow closely behind Sunny here over to this stomp pickup. Sunny doubling back for a pickup he skipped earlier, just 8 experience, no big deal. Looks like he's actually going to be approaching the valley entry area if he decides to go up here. Yes, he does. And with this, he very well might be deciding to enter into valley, where we're going to need to come for the feather, quote-unquote, tree, and as well as some other left side accessible things. So nice play by him. This is going to be He's going to need to come over here later no matter what, so may as well do that now with what he has.
Yeah, and I believe even without charge jump, Apple could follow using Bash, because Bash is still, in and of itself, just an incredibly powerful skill that we are going to see Sunny attempt to use to get this frog up to this peg. He has to reload to respawn the frog. Um, but without charge jump, Apple's going to really need to hope to find Dash somewhere along the way in order to make up that skill deficit. So, because even though they can go to the same places, Sunny can go to the same places just a bit faster and check just a bit more.
Indeed. Our 3 power skills of the game being Dash, Charge Jump, and Bash. Our runner's having 2 of them right now, or at least Sunny having 2 of them. Apple hoping to find, maybe Bash to help make up a little bit of time here. But she's going to be following right behind Sunny, actually. She's going to be doing these Valley entry checks. A bit unfortunate for Sunny there. He's trying to get this Frankie to cooperate. However, if you are not quite precise enough with where you're jumping, the Frankie decides to, just take a quick little step on these spikes, and that kills him instantly. And that's no good for what we're doing. But with a nice series of double bashes, Sunny's able to get our friend the Frankie over to stop this peg. Notably, this is out of logic, but it's a nice way to gain access to the left side of the map, and it looks like that's going to be what Apple's doing as well. And so, yeah, our runners more or less, right on top of each other, but Sunny just a little bit ahead with that charge jump find.
Yeah, and I definitely like this strategy for both runners, as it gets them left side access once they grab the Valley Teleporter, as well as their 6th tree, which might give them the clue to where the Gumon seal is. Normally not very important, but since the water vein's locked behind it, that is actually a really big clue that our runners will eventually need.
Yeah, and for all we know, Gumon seal could be on a mapstone. We've seen we've seen 4 mapstones already. For all we know, mapstone 5, 6, 7 could have our Gumon seal. And it looks like Sunny is going to be coming up here to do some of these valley checks. I like this play. He's still being pretty thorough with what he's checking, which is a good call in my opinion, since he does not know where the Gumon seal is, and could use, a nice dash find, or maybe even just some more health. He's looking to... Both our runners, actually, a little low on health. They only have 4 health cells right now. And since this is a late game area here, it's a bit tough to traverse through here and not take too much damage.
Yeah, both of our runners only have found a single health pickup in everything they've checked so far, and they are still just deciding to go into this late game area. Both of them doing very well. Sunny does take a small death, but with a great save, we'll be able to come back up here. And it looks like, yes, he's going to use some great game knowledge. When you have the Sunstone, that frog named Wilhelm spawns there, and you can use him to break the floor instead of the intended stomp.
Yeah, very nicely done on his end. He could have also used his climb and charge jump to more or less do the same thing, but with all those birds congregating around the those rocks, it's a little bit of annoyance to try to get them to cooperate. And unfortunately, we do not get our Gumon seal hint on tree number 6. We're gonna have to keep digging. We're gonna need 3 more trees in order to know how to get our Gumon seal and access Forlorn.
Oh boy, this could be quite a long hunt towards the end of the seed.
Yeah.
But I'd like to note, on Apple's side, instead of using Wilhelm, she decided to do a really precise trick called Fast Stompless, where she bashed a spider shot over to break the floor. That is a very quick way of doing that. And she pulled it off first try, so great job on that, Apple, catching up some amount of time even without having charge jump.
Yeah, very nicely done. Fast Stompless, that as we call that trick, is pretty precise, and she was able to do that while Sunny decided to take the Wilhelm projectile to accomplish the same task. And so Apple was able to make up a little bit of time from that. So very nicely done. She's actually gonna make what looks like a few more checks over here before deciding to exit. And Sunny checking the dash plant. It's just an energy cell though.
And I would imagine Sunny's probably thinking right now as well about Grenade Tree, he can access it with what he has by doing a quick zombie or a grenade jump to get past a laser. And that'll be another tree, as well as a couple more pickups that he can quickly check along the way. Although it looks like he's going to grab this teleporter first, maybe just in case he needs to come down to the very bottom of Blackroot for the Gloomon Seal later on. This is a great teleporter to have in that case.
Yes, absolutely. Hopefully he's not going to need to come back down here, but he very well might need to later. So he's going to be grabbing this teleporter, making a quick save, and then perhaps doing a few more checks. Yeah, he's actually going to place in his 5th mapstone. Just another ability cell, unfortunately. But with that, looks like he might decide to continue. Oh, he's actually going to be luring this Frankie over? Sunny, you do have climb charge jump. You know that, bud, right? Oh, no. Sorry. Instead of using the quick method of entering Lower Blackroot, he's going to be luring this Frankie all the way up and having him stomp down the floor. So hopefully he'll realize before too long he's able to just do it. Okay, looks like he might have remembered. He's abandoning this idea.
It is a proven fact in all randomizers that it is humanly impossible to remember what pickups you've gotten.
Absolutely agree. Meanwhile, Apple, she's in sorrow.
Oh, and she's going for what looks like to be a double bash mortar shot chain. This is incredibly difficult. You not only have to keep this mortar projectile alive the entire way up, you have to avoid this ledge that we see in the middle of the way. And you are fighting against gravity the entire time, because unlike spider shots, that mortar shot is getting pulled down all the time. It's doable, but it is very difficult, and we might see Apple, continue to try it as she looks to level up Sense with another ability cell in her pocket.
Yeah, she was only one ability cell short of being able to get all the way to Sense. If she's able to collect just a little bit more experience or finds another ability cell, she'll be able to get that powerful ability that will serve as a hot-cold kind of check for her as she walks around Nibel. If her Ori decides to change to a warmer color, then that will clue her in that something important is nearby, meaning that she does not need to absolutely check every single pickup. And while we were discussing that, she very expertly navigated that mortar shot all the way up to break that ceiling. Nice job. She's going to place a quick save. And yeah, she's going to be approaching the charge jump tree. Very nicely done, Apple.
And of course, speaking of great double bash chains, we also saw Sunny double bash a Baneling, a very, very explosive and dangerous enemy, to get all the way up to the top of this grenade tree area. It looks like he really wants his health cell, and I would agree. That is very important considering he's only found a small handful so far. But with that, he's going to enter this cutscene, skip it, and get Sense as he makes his way to the grenade tree.
Very nice. He's going to have that ability that we were just talking about in order to, check if something important is nearby. And maybe he's going to, it looks like he's going to utilize that immediately to check to see if this pickup is indeed something useful. And it looks like it wasn't to his liking. And so he's going to continue down here and collect his grenade tree, putting him one closer to our forlorn key hint.
Yeah. Apple as well, grabbing that charge jump tree as also continuing her tree hunt. She as well is now looking towards that grenade tree. She does not have charge jump like Sunnymuffin did, so she will have to do this difficult double bash chain in order to get Marvin safely to the other side of this spike crusher death pit for him.
Yeah, this is not an easy navigation at all. You're only able to bash our friend Marvin here a select number of times, and the rest of his movement you have to do utilizing just little baits, where you just, kind of hover Ori above him in the hopes that he follows you up onto this platform. So that's going to be what Apple is doing here, and while this is happening, Sunny is going to be utilizing his grenade jump ability, well, collection of skills rather, and he's going to be probably ascending up into Sorrow, where we saw Apple already check out. Oh no, Apple loses her friend. That's unfortunate. Marvin has a nasty habit of jumping into spikes and crushers. She's gonna have to try this double bash chain one more time.
Yeah. Without charged up climb and without stomp and without dash, this is her only way of accessing that area. And so we are going to see her do it again, playing with Marvin, getting him up onto the teleport area. There's just a couple patches of spikes that he can still hit, but she is going to bash him under this one. She cannot bash him anymore. There's like one patch of spikes left right there to see if Marvin can get over before he breaks the floor and gives AppIetreee access to the grenade tree.
And it looks good. Yep, Marvin's able to get him over and does break the floor. Come on, Apple, please place a save. There you go. Okay, cool. You made it through. Nicely done. And while she was navigating Marvin so carefully over here, Sunny is taking a bird and really trying his hardest over here with this trick that we call Sorrow Bash, which is a collection of very difficult double bashes where you have to be very precise to try to get this bird navigated through this little chasm while not shooting it into the spikes. Since the spikes do instantly kill the bird, as we see right there, and actually Sunny deciding to zombie his way through this, spending his last 2 ability points to navigate while at 0 health, and he's able to make it through and places a safety save. Nicely done, Sunny. That's pretty difficult when you have to make your way through there with just zombie as well as his double bashes. Nice job.
And speaking of zombies and ability cells, Apple only has 2 right here as she tries to make her way into the grenade tree, which can require a couple zombies to get in, as well as 1 more save anywhere to skip a cutscene. So she did manage to get another ability cell down here, or at least 200 experience, which is basically the same thing. But she would really like 1 more. You can skip the laser with just a single zombie, but it's really, really precise. And so Apple's probably going to be hoping that this is experience or an ability cell, and
No,
it
it's
is
a teleporter.
the Grotto teleporter.
It's not what you want to see there. Unfortunate. Perhaps she might. She's going to angrily throw some grenades at these spikes. Take a quick death to reset. Perhaps maybe do some more farming for pickups just to, get some more experience and for another level up. While she's doing that, Sunny's going to be collecting his 8th tree here on the left side of your screen, still wondering where that Gumon seal might be. Could be just about anywhere at this point. Our runners do have the Sunstone. For all we know, Gumon seal could be somewhere in Horu. That would be disgusting.
Oh boy, that would be something phenomenal. Go to Horu to go to Forlorn to go to Ginso. It is the reverse order of the vanilla dungeons right there.
Yeah, definitely a spicy one.
Oh, but in the meantime, we do see AppIetreee gets through that laser with a single ability cell. That is a difficult trick to pull off, and that was a great thing for her to do because now she has 1 more and will be able to skip this long cutscene. That saves over a minute, her doing that, and will let her as well grab that 8th tree.
Very nicely done, Apple. That's not easy to do, of course. Normally, a lot of runners will take that laser zombie section and do 2 saves for it. So showing her expertise there and only doing it in 1. She's going to be getting 255 experience on her 8th tree, just a little bit behind Sunny. But, with not having charge jump, that does put her at a little bit of a skill deficit. Because look at that grenade jump from Sunny. Being able to pull that off very expertly. And it looks like Sense is triggering over here. And it's wind restored. Not too useful at the moment, unfortunately.
It is an orange pickup, or a yellowish text. I don't know what color that actually is. But that's what the Gumon seal will also be. So I can only imagine Sunny right now got his hopes up after seeing that color, only to realize, oh, it's just wind. Already did Sorrow Bash. Oh, man.
Yeah, that would have been nicer to have, as he approached up to Sorrow, since he did have to try that little sequence of movements a few times. And Apple's going to be entering the same misty area. She's going to have to do a little bit different, a couple different techniques here to check these same pickups.
Ooh.
Oh no, did she kill her frog? She did. She's going to have to do a quick reload. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I believe what happened there was she threw a grenade at the bird, to kill it, but when the grenades explode, they redirect, and that just so happened to be the perfect place to redirect into the frog. But Apple has a convenient nearby save. We'll get the ability cell down there for her troubles. It's good to know that that's not the Goomon seal, but again, that's not entirely
Oh
what she
my
wanted.
god! We did it!
Oh, you predicted it!
Oh no, this is horrible! Ladies and gentlemen,
Horrible!
welcome to Ori and the Blind Forest Reverse Dungeon Order Randomizer. Oh my god. This is horrid. Okay, Sunny's gonna take the swamp teleporter, make his way over to Horu. Oh god, okay, this is really happening, folks.
What a seed this has turned out to be. And Horu has some of the highest amount of stomp block pickups in the entire game as well.
Yes.
So that is another thing to consider because neither of our runners have stomp.
And you know what else?
Man.
There is the wind escape is inaccessible to them right now, so they can't even get the hint for where Stomp is.
Oh man, this could be a brutal, brutal seed.
This is just mean. I mean, both our runners did say they wanted the longer seed, but oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, this is brutal.
Oh,
I love it.
Boy. If it does turn out to be Stomp locked, I wonder where Stomp might end up being, because there is quite a bit in logic with Bash Nade and with Grenade Jumps, Charge Jump. They could be looking for quite a while, which will be very entertaining for us, but I cannot imagine what is going through Sunny's head in what is pretty soon to be going through AppIetree's head as she gets her 9th clue in just a moment.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, all of this work digging through Horu to find this Goomon seal could be cut out if we just find the forlorn teleporter, which, as of now, we have not found. So, for all we know, we might be digging here in Horu for a hot minute, no pun intended, looking for this Goomon seal.
Luckily for our runners, they do both have sense, so that will let them check some pickups just by being near them, not even touching them. But Horu is still a very large area with a lot of different like sub rooms that could very easily contain that precious Goomon seal.
And you see Apple very angrily waving her mouse around that hint. Oh man. And friendly reminder, she's still very close behind Sunny, but she is down 1 charge jump. So she's gonna have a little bit of a harder time making her way through this area. And Sunny is gonna be doing a check-in here, realizing that he does not have Stomp, and is gonna sadly exit this room and check out another one.
Yeah. Oh boy, this is turning to be very, very interesting in terms of how our runners will try and route Horu, where they'll check.
He's doing door warp. Is Sunny doing? It looks like he's doing door warp.
Ooh.
Oh, but it might be the wrong side of the door actually. Oh no, Sunny! Oh no. Unfortunate. I wonder how many attempts he'll throw at this before. Oh wait, he gets it, but that's not where he wanted to go. Nicely done, I guess.
Yeah, door warp is a trick that we will see maybe another time on Apple's side of the screen. If the runners enter a door within a couple frames of the game loading, it can be a little bit weird how many frames, but it will warp them to a completely different location, which is often pretty helpful for checking pickups. In this case, though, that door warp was somewhere that Sunny already did a different door warp to get to. Won't be that much on validation.
Yes. And of course, Sunny, utilizing that sense to not go all the way over there and see, if there's something important in that direction. Noticing that there's nothing and decides to head on out of the room. And while that's happening, Apple is going to be entering Horu just a couple minutes behind Sunny. And she's going to be more or less following the same footsteps that Sunny's already been taking. But however, like we said, without charge jump, it's going to be a little bit harder, but it's absolutely still doable.
Yeah, we've seen Apple just push through so much of the seed, even without having charge jump. She's just able to do almost just as much as Sunny has. Although,
yeah,
is he changing color right now?
I think he is. I think, yeah, I think Sunny has changed colors. He has noticed that perhaps something is over here, and it could be our Goomon seal. And so it looks like, yeah, he's gonna be making his way over here to make these checks. Hopefully he's going to be nicely rewarded with a cool looking Dorito that is the Gumon Seal.
Oh boy. And with how twisty and turny Horu is with so many rooms, triggering sense doesn't necessarily show you exactly where the pickup is, as this one only turns out to be 4 experience. Even this deep into Horu, the Seed Gen is just having a ton of fun trolling our runners right now.
It really is. It really is. And man, I'll tell you, it's really entertaining. But you gotta feel bad for the poor runners. But they did say they wanted the long seed, so hopefully they're not, too stressed out about what's happening here, and they're enjoying the nice visit into our favorite volcano here, or in the Blind Forest. And looks like Apple's gonna be making her way over here to check one pickup that Sunny did not check, but she's gonna say hi to some spikes beforehand. And, going back to the door real quick. Oh, Sunny realizing he can't make this check because he doesn't have Stomp. He has to Alt-R. That's really rough.
Yeah,
he gets another map stone, actually. He's at 7.
Yeah, he looked very purple as he entered into that room. And I'm not entirely familiar with his color set, but I believe purple was the sense trigger. So it could just be that pickup, that Stomp locked pickup, is their only way of getting to Forlorn. Oh boy.
Yeah, either Stomp or, a super lucky find of that Forlorn teleporter. Either of those 2 finds would put them in a very good spot. And Sunny decides to head on out of Horu and do some digging elsewhere. Looking for that Stomp, looking, dipping over just to see if he changes colors and continuing onward. This is really rough. Our runners have no idea where they're supposed to go. We have no idea where they're supposed to go. Our progression could be basically anywhere.
It is interesting right now that Sunny is checking on the left side, because if I remember correctly, they didn't get the Valley Teleporter as a pickup, which means the left side is currently out of logic, actually. So Stomp may still be over here if Sorrow Teleporter was supposed to be somewhere. But for now, Sunny is just heading down, checking whatever he might be able to get in a dense area, like Lower Valley.
Yes, and it looks like he's changing colors here. There might be something useful down here. Maybe Stomp. Who knows? Meanwhile, Apple is very carefully navigating through this ascending platform, climbing, staying clung to the other side of the, fire laser. You have to be very careful in here since she does not have charge jump. This is a little bit harder for her. And Sunny's actually going to go ahead and place in what will be his 7th mapstone? 6th mapstone? It's Valley Teleporter!
Oh,
That's
my
just
goodness.
mean. Oh, gosh. And that was his 6th mapstone. Oh, and he's changing colors again. It's up! He found it! Grenade locked on the way to Forlorn. Wow! That's rude.
Oh boy, that is huge for Sunny, as that Stomp will let him check Horu L2, where he turned purple for a bit, saw with sense that there was something important there. Possibly the Gumon Seal, the thing he and Sunny both desperately need.
Yes.
But, with that said, what was the logical way to get that? Was it through the Valley Teleporter on Mapstone 6?
Oh, it might be. I have no idea at this point. And I don't know if the runners do either. I'm sure their brains are partially fried from absolute monstrosity of a seed that they're having to play.
Yeah, no kidding. What a thing to have happen, as we are going to see Sunny make his way back up with Stomp. He will be able to check what is in this room, and we will see if it ends up being the Gumon Seal. It could also be a couple of other things, like
it could be Dash for all we know, which would be
or
kind of
clean
useful.
water.
Or clean water. You're right. Oh man.
Oh, boy.
We're just gonna have to wait here with bated breath.
Yeah, I'm
Apple doing smart
I'm
checks.
so excited right now. It's gonna be something. It's either gonna be hilarious or very, very satisfying for Sunny.
Yeah. I'm sure he's hoping it's either the Forlorn Teleporter or the Gumon Seal. He's going to be very careful here to avoid this rotating laser. He does get it in, actually, but whoa, he's like lodged between the boulder It is the Gumon seal for him, though. He does find it. But is he able to get out? Okay, he just altars. All right.
That
Wow, that was scary.
was a very, very interesting glitch there that I don't think I've ever seen before, and probably don't want to see again because I don't want to see poor Ori getting crushed like that.
Yep. And now Sunny's gonna have to go back down to the Forlorn Approach area for a second time after getting his required stomp almost all the way down at Forlorn. And he's gonna make his way back down there one more time, this time to enter Forlorn to do some more digging to get his water vein.
Oh, goodness gracious. This has just been an adventure of a second half of a seed. A forced
really
return to Valley entry at this point. Forced early Horu. A reverse dungeon order. This seed is a treat to watch right now.
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite seeds that I've seen in a long time. And I hope our runners are enjoying it just as much as we are. But I'm sure they're wondering, where the heck is the other runner? Because they have, of course, no idea. They don't know, have they found the Gumon seal? Have they found the teleporter? Have they already found the water vein? Are they in the final escape? They have no idea. This could be very stressful for them, unfortunately.
And I believe even more that both runners said that they closed race time after the race started. So they won't know if their other competitor has finished, or if they haven't, what the timer is, unless they have it pulled up on Live Split instead. So, oh man, they are completely in the dark right now, and just hoping against all hope that they can beat their opponent right now. In this cruel seed.
Yeah, and Sunny very well might have to do, just about every check here in Forlorn. He's going to start out at the entrance of the dungeon. Does find a pretty late Spirit Light efficiency. Not going to be too helpful from here on out. Normally that would double, well, even now as well, doubling all of your experience that you find would be very nice early on to let you get more points, but this late in the game, not really too relevant.
Oh boy. But that is one less pickup, though, that Sunny needs to check in Forlorn, as he is in there right now, whereas Apple is not.
Oh no!
He does take a quick death, did save, but
oh man, yeah.
Every moment that that Apple is not checking the stump locked area of L2 with Sense is time that Sunny has to find the water vein and make his way to the end of the sea.
Yeah, this is definitely Sunny growing a lead here, as Apple has not yet found Stomp. She has not checked over L2 to see if indeed Sense will trigger in that room. So she is a little bit behind here. Also being behind one charge jump, like we said earlier. So Apple has some ground to make up, but it still could be anyone's game. She could very well find the Forlorn teleporter for all we know. That would put her right back into this.
Or potentially Dash, another very, very powerful skill that we've seen nothing of from Sunnyside. It's the only skill he still does not have. Yet.
Indeed. Yes. Apple
That'll
does
show
find the
up on-
Valley teleporter and decides to just altar out of there. She's had enough.
It's got to be stomped somewhere for her. Unfortunately for us, we know it's in, God, probably one of the worst areas that it could be in. Valley lower, forcing her to return once she finds it, as we saw Sunny did. So she's going to check other places first. Maybe she'll be able to find charge jump from this, at least, as she heads towards that energy cell. And yeah, she's turning colors. Does she know exactly where it is? It looks like it.
And while she's making this check, Sunny does have to put in some keystones into this door, bringing him down to 3 keystones. He's going to need one for Ginzo Tree later on. And decides to take in a save anywhere to skip this cutscene, rather, as he makes his way over to the right side of the map. Meanwhile, Apple finally finding charge jump. It's a very nice find, and now she's going to be closer to having skill parity with Sunny. And it looks like Sunny's going to have to go all the way over to the right side of the map here. Oh, don't take a step.
And that also does mean, if the water vein ends up being here, these 2 pickups are also stomp locked. So even if Apple finds the Forlorn teleporter, If the water vein ends up being back here, she will still have to find Stomp in order to get the water vein.
You're right. That
Oh,
that would be really, really unfortunate for Apple, requiring her to find Stomp, which is something I'm sure she does not want to do, and she's not really quite close to it, unfortunately, since we know it's on the way over to Valley Approach, or Forlorn Approach rather. And it looks like Sunny's actually doubling back. Wait, oh, he's checking Wind Escape again.
that is a purple color, Rom. That is a very purple Ori. I think he's found something really important. I wonder what it could be.
This could be our water vein. Could also be Dash or Clean Water.
Oh my god, what a seed this is. We will have to just wait until this cutscene plays out, building the tension until finally it is the water vein!
Wow, what a find. Good
Oh
lord.
my goodness.
So, to recap for our viewers at home, Gumon Seal was in Horu, locked behind Stomp. Now, after accessing Forlorn, to get your water vein, you have to go over to the Wind Escape and start up that Wind Escape. Now you have your water vein. And now you have to make your way over to Ginzo to finish off the seed. Of course, after finding the Sunstone, which we did find in Grotto in a pretty easy spot. This has been real spicy.
Stomp was also sea jump and grenade locked, meaning that Apple having that sea jump is really, really important in order to get her Stomp eventually.
Yes.
And as well, I believe that left side, the only access we currently have was Mapstone 6 Valley Teleporter, which is unbelievable what this seed has tried to throw at our runners. And oh my goodness.
Yeah, since we never found Sorrow Teleporter, which would have been another way to access left side. So requiring our runners more or less to put in 6 mapstones to logically gain access to the left side of the map. That's just absolute brutality. The C-Gen is taking no survivors today.
Yep. C-Gen definitely won this race. Sorry, Apple. Sorry, Sunny.
Absolutely. The C-Gen as well as the viewers winning for all the content that we were getting.
Yeah, no kidding.
Apple getting another mapstone. She's going to be able to get up to 7 if she really wants to. But we don't know, not quite sure which ones she has placed, which ones she has not. So she very well might not place this in. Which it would not matter if she does at this point, since we know that she needs Stomp, which unfortunately is not where she is currently at.
Yeah. Although, Dash is still up in the air. Potentially that could be on a later mapstone if the seed wanted to be the worst jerk that it has been in quite a while.
That would be absolutely amazing. Dash on mapstone 8 or 9. It's just rude.
Boy.
Oh, meanwhile, Ori changing colors. Ori's changing colors over on Sunny's side of the screen. We very well could find Dash here. What are we going to get? Okay, he's placing in his keystones. He's going to check these 2 remaining pickups here. Okay, another keystone. And Clean Water. Okay, so not Dash.
I mean, still very, very helpful, as it will make that poison swim in the final escape basically free at this point, because our runners still, despite having checked so many things, don't have a ton of health. This seed has just not given health, not given the keys that the runners need, not given Dash, just,
Yeah, C-Gen has been rude today. However, Apple's making the play. She's heading down to where we know Stomp is. I wonder if she will take that knowledge and then know, okay, now I can continue checking in Horu and eventually find my Gumon Seal. And while she is going to be approaching where we know Stomp is, Sunny is going to be deciding to actually choosing violence. Going to come down here and fight this mini-boss to gain access to the final escape. Very nicely done. After all this work, all this effort, deciding he needs to vent some frustration at this seed by killing one more enemy. And he's going to be starting his final escape here in just a moment.
that is completely understandable. He already did door warp twice, and doing it can kind of change how it works in a really weird and counterintuitive way. But he's just going to murder a mini-boss very quickly with the amount of skills he has. He'll be starting as Apple is just now finding Stomp. Still has to find the Gumon Seal and the Water Vein and the Bash Tree, as Sunny has now procured himself quite a lead as he begins the final escape.
Yeah, at this point in the race, it's more or less Sunny's race to be taking here, unless he has a series of catastrophic mishaps here in the final escape. But he's making quick work of this, so I anticipate he will be finishing off here. Nice grenade jump there across the elemental room. I anticipate Sunny will be our winner here in just a moment.
And again, with that clean water, this poison swim is completely free with Bash and 7 health. We just have to quickly avoid a kill time trigger here. Good work. Now to climb up, he has the option to grenade jump if he would like to skip about half of this final cutscene. Looks like he is setting up for it. Again, this is a pretty tight trick, especially at the end of a run like this. When you are nervous, you've been playing for over an hour. My goodness. But Sunny still wants to do it. Show off, skip some of the cutscene. Great work.
And there he goes. He gets it. Unfortunately, we'll get the fake ending. He's going to have to do one more attempt at this final escape. That is unfortunate. Looks like he must have goofed up something there. So he's going to do one more attempt here at this final escape. Meanwhile, Apple, not quite where we know our Gumon Seal is. So she's able to make up a little bit of time here. But again, the deficit in resources, including Water Vein and Gumon Seal, are so great that it's very unlikely at this time that she'll be able to mount a comeback. Getting attempt number 2 here from SunnymufFin at his final escape.
Sometimes Ori just decides it's going to be magic in how the code runs. You don't know what will happen sometimes. Unfortunately for Sunny, that will cause him to do this again. Lose a little bit of time, but if he can get it pretty quickly here, he will still have quite a race to talk about as he moves on. Oh, only 1 health does get a little spooked there, but with health regen, and again, that clean water, he should be able to make his way past these mean fish. Yes, indeed. And will be once again attempting this final room. Past the trigger, up the wall, and we'll see if he goes for the grenade jump again.
Looks like he's setting up to do it. Yep, getting climb on the wall. No! Charge jumps right into some fire. Oh, Sunny. My heart. Alright, attempt number 3. Meanwhile, Apple making her way over to, I believe, the room that we know where the Gumon Seal is. She's changing color. Yeah, she's gonna find it here in just a moment.
Hopefully she won't be crushed by a rock, but might be crushed by some slimes, it seems. Slimes are just not letting her have fun right now. She's not going to even activate the laser, though. She's just gonna stomp 2 to like launch this rock into the air every time she does. And that will get her. In a couple seconds, once she breaks this floor, there it is.
Nicely
She
done.
will be getting her Gumon Seal.
Yep, and then she's going to be taking that over into Forlorn to collect her Water Vein and finish off her seed. Nicely done from Apple. She's been, really been a great trooper throughout all this. Still hanging on and doing her best. And meanwhile, Sunny deciding, you know what? I don't need this final grenade jump. I'm just gonna cross over and finish off my run. GG to SunnymuffinSR. He will be our victor in tonight's race. Very well done on his end. That was an absolutely brutal seed, requiring all 3 dungeon keys and putting them in some of the worst spots that I've seen in a long time. Excellent work. Nicely done.
Yeah, keeping your cool, knowing what to check, everything through over an hour of gameplay from both Sunny and Apple. It's just been great to see. However, Sunny just found that Gumon Seal and charge jump just a little bit faster, and with that, he will be the one moving on to this tournament, going into his cutscene as Apple is still trucking through the rest of this seed, looking for the water vein, which we know is again in a very, very awful place in Forlorn.
Indeed we do. And a quick update on the state of the bracket for our tournament. Sunny, being the victor today, will be going up against the winner of another match that we have yet to be played, which will be the winner of Trojan Dude versus Tritonite, which will be streamed hopefully later on. So he'll be having to face up against one of those two opponents as he finishes up his race today with a time of 1:10:51. Very respectable time for a seed of that, absolute brutality. And we actually see Sunny on deck here, ready for an interview. We're going to go ahead and pull him in here in just a moment. And there he is, Sunny Muffin. GG, my friend. That was a seed, wasn't it?
Love everything about that seed.
Yes. You did say before the seed started today that you wanted something nice and slow. Was that quite up to your standards, do you think?
Oh yeah, that was a seed. That was fun.
Yeah, excellent job. And of course, with that victory, you will be going up against the winner of Trojan Dude versus Tritonite, which actually will be done. Will be race. The race will happen this Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Sunny, how do you feel about that matchup? Who do you think? Who do you hope that you're going to go up against?
It's kind of a trick question. That's an awful decision either way. Either you have Trojan, who will have knocked out Tritonite, or you have Tritonite. So yeah, I'll see y'all next tournament after that match.
Fair point. Fair point. Anyway, Turtle, you have any questions for tonight's victor?
Oh yeah, absolutely. With this seed, who wouldn't have questions? The first thing I want to know from you is exactly what your thoughts were when you got the 9th tree and learned that the Gumon seal was in Horu of all places.
I was horrified. Like, not having Stomp going into Horu is the worst feeling in the world. And then the Stomp hint being locked in Forlorn that's just like the worst thing possible. It was great.
The worst thing possible is pretty accurate for what happened in the end of the seed. That being said, you did make a pretty great read checking the dense lower valley, and it paid off with Stomp. Why did you try going there as opposed to somewhere else where Stomp might be a little more in logic? Any thoughts?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a question.
No worries. When you went for that lower valley play, you knew you needed Stomp. What was your thought process going there instead of somewhere else?
So I had a couple things in my mind, and one of them was very incorrect. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go through lower valley anyway to open it up to get the Gumon seal. I didn't have the Gumon seal, so that line of thinking was wrong. But I also had a bunch of map stones, and I could turn into map stone there. And then I realized I didn't check the rest of Horu for sense. So my thought on that was like, either I'm gonna find Stomp or I'm gonna find the Forlorn TP. And I was just gonna start randomly checking the world.
Well, you did, of course, manage to find Stomp. As Apple has, sorry, back to the race for a little bit. Apple has gone to her Forlorn escape, grabbed the water vein of her own, and will now be making her way into the Ginso tree as she is trying to finish up this long and convoluted seed.
Yes, and while that is happening, Sunny, one more question for you. At what point throughout the seed did you decide that sense was in fact the right play? When did that cross your mind?
I pretty much always go sense unless I get early dash, just like as a general rule.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely fair, especially in a seed, quite like this, where the the required pickups are just in such garbage places. I definitely don't blame you on that. Yeah, looks like Apple's going to be making her way up through the rest of the Ginzo tree while she finishes up with that. Turtle, do you have any more questions here for Sunny before we wrap up this interview?
Yeah, sure. Since you guys did reverse dungeon order, might as well go into run order questions. So going back to the beginning of the run, you found a ton of keystones really, really early on. Um, what does that have, or what does that make you think when you're routing the very, very early game, having so many keystones and so little power skill?
I just assume that the seed is going to be slow. So like I'll go do Blackroot. Like I don't mind climb Blackroot at all. So I'm just gonna do that and kind of get my thinking in order, and then head up through Spirit Caverns and try to follow logic.
Thank you for that. We saw a lot of routing in the, these over 70 minutes that this seed forced you to play through. And thank you so much for this race, Sunny Muffin.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, very well done, GG's. And yeah, our Sunny, of course, will be our victor, like we said. And Apple will be, unfortunately, coming in second place. But I'm sure that she is not done helping out with this tournament and participating. Both our runners, of course, been great helps behind the scenes to make sure everything keeps working. So once again, we'd like to thank both of them for all of their efforts in keeping this tournament running. And Apple collecting her 10th tree finally. The end is in sight, Apple. You're almost there. She's going to head over to her final scape here in just a moment.
And she only has 6 health. Again, with all the pickups that both of our runners checked, everywhere there was just such little health. That clean water pickup in the back of Ginso actually going to be very, very helpful for Apple. As we also saw with Sunny, just letting them get through that poison water quite a bit easier. So 6 health will be enough, and Apple is heading into the final scape, going to go for a door warp in order to get down there, as opposed to, obviously, violence, which we saw earlier.
Yeah, and we're going to see here, she's actually, looks like door warp was, like, hot fixed. So I guess, the game sometimes randomly decides, door warp isn't possible. So she's going to come down here and instead, throw some hands at this mini boss to gain access into the final area.
Yes, there's always a valid option in murder. Even though Apple drops to less than 1 health, she does make it through, has a ton of health regen, and this cutscene will heal her up anyway, so she will make it through, start her final escape with the same skill set as we saw Sunny Muffin do earlier.
Yeah, and with everything but dash, the only pickup on the tracker that we did not get to see tonight, unfortunately. This escape should be pretty much a breeze for Apple, hopefully.
Well, Final Seat can always throw some curveballs at you, like a fake ending, perhaps, or just some lava out of nowhere. But we'll still see Apple take some rocks to the face, actually. That's another thing that the Final Escape can just do to you for fun, I guess.
Yeah, very, very fun. Love just random rocks just collapsing on you as you're trying to go through. Definitely commentator's curse on that one. My bad, Apple. Anyway.
I'm so sorry.
Oh gosh. She's making quick work of the rest of this though. With clean water, should hopefully be a nice and easy finish for her. And if she so chooses, she'll be able to get a nice grenade jump out of here. Just one more little Kuro trigger skip, and she gets it. That was really close.
Yeah.
And she bashes to the left. Nice job remembering. And one more bash to the left. Okay, she's setting up for this final grenade jump here. And almost gets it. Nope. Deciding to try for one more time. She wants to save that little bit of time.
And like we mentioned earlier, this cutscene, even with that left bash, which we only recently learned helps with this fake ending, there are still a bunch of things that can happen, like soft locks and a bunch of random nonsense. But Apple is just going to charge jump on in, finish up the seed after watching this cutscene, which will be a great break after over 80 minutes of this seed just dumpstering the worst pickups possible.
Yes, excellent job there by Apple. You know, this no matter your level of skill in the Ori randomizer, this kind of seed is still very difficult to traverse and mentally plan what it is you want to do and how you want to go about routing. So excellent job to both our runners for, plowing through it like they did. So GG's to Apple. She'll be finishing up here. Hopefully she decides to pop on in for a quick interview so we can get her thoughts. Of course, our runners are never obligated to join us for an interview. You could be feeling all sorts of different emotions after a race. So we'll just have to see what she decides to do. She'll just be holding right here for just a little longer as she finishes up.
I would not blame Apple in the slightest if the only thing on her mind after that seed is just taking a nap, honestly. Oh boy.
And with that, Apple will finish up 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 32 seconds. And this horrendously beautiful seed will come to a close. And while we await to see if Apple decides to join us, we'd like to real quick thank our trackers for today, Lion and Skull, who did a great job helping us keep track of what the heck was going on that whole time, as well as Dedu for the lovely restream. Special thanks to all of those involved and all of our tournament organizers as well. You guys are doing a great job with this tournament. And we do have Apple on deck. She is going to join us for a quick interview as we get her into the chat here. Apple, GG's, very well played. That was a brutal seed, and you did a great job finishing up there.
Thank you very much. GG, Sunny.
GG's.
So, Apple, how did you feel? We already asked Sunny this question, but I'm curious as to your thoughts as well. How did you feel when you saw that the Gumon seal was in Horu?
Well, when we got the Sunstone, I was like, well, we have Bash, Glide, and Double Jump. So, technically, Horu is in Logic. Haha. And then I saw that, and I was like, not really. Seed, you have got to be kidding me.
Oh, man. Well, at least it was already on your mind, kind of, so... you had some sort of mental preparation for it, at least a little bit. That's still
I don't
definitely
know if
rough.
that counts.
I guess not. Anyway, Turtle, you have a question for Apple?
Yeah, so Apple, you picked up Sense pretty early on as well. But especially searching through Horu, it pretty much never tipped you off to anything. What are your thoughts on the value of Sense, especially versus the other tree, which has Ultra Defense?
I was going for Sense pretty early. I think we didn't have most of the busted skills. We only had Bash and very few ways of breaking walls. So I just kind of went for it. Didn't really think too much about it. I forgot it several times. I used it really badly in the seed. I kept checking things I knew were nothing. In the end, I was checking things again, firstly for those map stones that I saw light up, which ended up being, I think, the Valley TP, which was not very useful. And then I was kind of looking for health as well, because I was a bit worried, exactly to your point, I didn't have the Ultra Defense. And I was a bit worried about the swim. I decided eventually 6 would be enough. But then, yeah, I got kind of bailed out on that one as well. So, I don't know, I think the seed would have been even longer if I had not gone for Sense. But I used it badly, this seed. I know I did that, so...
Well, it's definitely a learning process, getting used to how Sensed works and what you can check and where you can stand to check things. So we still all thought you did a great job with it. So excellent job on your performance in the tournament. Unfortunately, you will not be continuing in the bracket, but we still look forward to seeing you around helping out with the tournament. So I hope you had a nice time, and GG's.
Oh, I certainly did, and I'm not leaving by any means. I've been doing a lot of restreaming, a lot of comms, and it's super fun, and I'm definitely not letting that go.
Yeah, absolutely, and we appreciate that very, very much. And with that, folks, we're going to call this race done for today. Well, we'd like to thank you all for watching, for that absolute treat of a seed that we were able to witness. Just a heads up for some upcoming matches in this Ori and the Blind Forest bracket tomorrow at 2 p.m. Sorry, not tomorrow. Wednesday, September 1st at 2 p.m. We have Trojan Dude versus Tritonite. And then this Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have Fluffy Prower versus Poogle. And then Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern, it'll actually be myself versus Sirius. And then following immediately after 1 p.m., J-Hal versus Henry. And with that, Turtle, got anything else you'd like to say before we head on out?
Thank you everyone so much for watching, for sticking around for this phenomenal seed, or at least for us viewers, it was very, very phenomenal. And we hope to see you later on for more matches in the Ori tournament.
Yes, GG's, and have a good night, everybody.